much for being here tonight. And to me, this is my first Candlelight Vigil, and especially for something that speaks to my heart. This shirt I just got a few weeks ago, and I don't know if you know what this shirt is, what this shirt is about. So I just want to ask any of you if you know what this shirt is, what it represents.
No.
All right, so this actually is a tree. So the shirt that I'm wearing is designed by Solong Chun, a Khmer American from Tacoma, Washington, who was a part of the National Candlelight Vigil. This orchid tree was a marker where many Cambodians were tortured and executed there in Chongat. Their bodies were dumped into mass graves, but this tree, still alive and giving life, symbolically gives light to those who were stripped of their name and memory in death. This scarf, with the aid of the wind, marches while holding onto the branch as a way to process healing while remembering those who lost their lives. So thank you, Solong Chun, wherever you are in Tacoma, as you're doing this vigil, for creating meaningful art, meaningful work for us to wear in our daily lives as we still try to make sure that we are not forgetting those who were lost 40 plus years ago and those who have survived. So thank you everyone for being here tonight. It is an honor to serve as part of the board for this important museum. A museum that serves an important role in educating our children, our community, and our world about our past, especially when it involves destruction of homeland and loss of life. The museum serves as a space for healing for many of our survivors today, and has worked to ensure that those who survived will never be left behind in our community. Lastly, the museum has given a voice to those who did not survive. The Khmer Rouge killing field is often filled with images of skulls and separated bones from shelled graves. But those bones were once filled with flesh, vision, blood, laughter, joy, anger, fear, tears, sweat, breath, family, love, and dreams. We not only want to remember their loss, but we want to remember how they lived. In collaboration with other Cambodian communities in Long Beach, Lowell, Massachusetts, Stockton, California, Seattle, and Tacoma, Washington, we stand in solidarity to remember our loved ones who were lost to starvation, illness, and violence. We stand in solidarity with our survivors today who are forever coping and learning to heal from their trauma. The history of violence has never escaped our generations of ancestors. From the near eradication of Native Americans, the enslavement of police violence towards the Black community, to the Armenian genocide, to the Japanese internment camps, to the Holocaust, Rwanda, Darfur. And we continue to see more systematic violence in places like Iraq, Afghanistan, Chechnya, Palestine, North Korea, and Syria. We stand in solidarity with other fellow refugees and immigrants here in our backyard and across the globe, and hope that today and the tomorrows that follow, we will continue to strengthen our community and our neighbors through advocacy, love, and healing in the face of growing fear and backlash. I am a son of a Khmer Rouge survivor and a Vietnam War refugee. My father, who cannot be here today, was forced to flee from Cambodia as a young man with a few random men who had become his friends. He had been working at the U.S. Embassy in Cambodia at the time. When the Khmer Rouge took over, the U.S. was forced to flee. But my father was left behind and would soon be confronted with an army full of young, armed, angry Khmer men, wasting little time executing people who they saw as threats to their ideology, and pushing the rest of the 3 million plus Cambodians who were living in Phnom Penh out into the countryside. My father spent days hiding and walking through the country with a few grains of rice in his pocket and having to avoid landmines, dead bodies, and no map, as he would eventually reach Thailand, and then endure the challenges of living in a refugee camp for months. He would arrive in the US and would meet my mom. I was the first one born, and eventually my 2 brothers would later join in. My father, as I was growing up, was stern and preached an honest days of hard work. He had moments where he loved being a dad, At his best, he was jolly, friendly, and loving. My brothers and I would race against each other to greet him whenever he came home from work, or when he would tuck me in and kiss me goodnight. As I became older, I would start to see him at his worst. I would witness him screaming in the middle of the night out of fear. He would often interrogate me over and over again if I left the house just to visit a friend. He took out his aggression towards my mom and then to my brothers and I. I would often erupt at my dad because I used to wonder why he couldn't be like any other dads. Why is it that my dad kept getting angry for no reason? One day on a summer night in 1997, ABC 2020 appeared, and an old, frail, silver-haired man named Pol Pot was sitting down silently in front of a live audience during what appeared to be a show trial for the death of Son Sen. My dad quietly pointed out and said, "This man nearly killed me." That man was known to be the leader behind the Khmer Rouge, responsible for the mass genocide of its own people. My dad said very little afterwards. He wasn't sleeping that night, and there were many more nights that he couldn't sleep since then. In recent years, my dad's trauma has escalated to the point where he distrusted his own friends, his community, and eventually his family. Navigating through the harm that he has caused to my family has often prevented me from helping him to heal from his trauma. Recently, my own healing and reconciliation from my estranged relationship with my dad has been to reconnect with the Cambodian community. It has extended into being a part of the museum, an opportunity to bring light into a story, as well as the stories of survivors and their children before it disappears into the grave. Every day, every night, I wish that my dad would be able to break from the chains that have held him tight for the past 40 plus years. But even if he is unable to, I know that by telling his story and advocating on his behalf, maybe a chain would just slip off from someone else's hands. To the generation of adult children or children of survivors, your struggles are valid. You are special. You are worthy. But never forget to take the time to heal. What I want to say to my father and to all my survivors, thank you for surviving. I thank you for creating newer generations. I thank you for allowing us to continue. You are a part of our history, and you are loved forever. Thank you. I don't know if Mr. David Keene is here right now. Actually, he's here. I wanted to say a few words because I know he just came in, and he is the reason why I exist. To give you a quick story, there's two stories I would tell you. The first story was that growing up, my brothers and I, my dad has been best friends with him since for the past 40 years. And one Christmas, my dad's car broke down, and so my two brothers and I, we were like maybe 3 and 6 years old. And so he lived in Carroll Stream, and we lived in Westmont, so about an hour plus away. And so he drove from his home, picked us up in that small 1985 Toyota Corolla he had. I don't know how he managed to pick us up. He drove all the way, made us spend Christmas with them, and then drove us back to Westmont, and he drove all the way back to Carroll Stream. So that was something I would always remember, the first part. The second part, this is the first time I'm actually acknowledging this in public, is that my father became friends with them when they were both on the run in Cambodia. They became friends as Khmer Rouge took over. And because they survived, I don't know if I would be here, my family would be here. And I certainly don't think my dad would have been here today if they did not have each other to hold on to as they left for Thailand. So I'm forever grateful for that. I just want everyone to give them a round of applause. Thank you so much.